Alright, traders, we're back. Cryptocurrency market analytics. Take a look at this one, guys. The Ethereum here. You know, we have a short position in the Ethereum for quite some time now. Now, I wanted to address the Ethereum this time from the big picture. You know, to present the weekly chart, to present the full technical picture, which, including the whole bear market across 2018 and what we had here over the last few months, ever since the beginning of 2019. And we can see it's pretty consistent, right? We find this interesting Elliott wave cycle showing up across that move, or that bear market that we had 2018 and the last 7, 8, 9 months across 2019. This is a nice case study, actually. Take a look at the Ethereum, guys. I mean, we can definitely count 4 massive moves, right? Now, here's the interesting part. The 4th corrective wave managed to reach exactly, take a look, it's so precise, it's remarkably precise. Managed to reach the very tip of the first wave. That's a textbook Elliott wave cycle, right? You want to have that. So now, when prices break in a head and shoulders pattern, by the way, this is a head and shoulders pattern that is difficult to see from that perspective. So don't blame yourself if you didn't catch it, right? Weekly chart, it's not a head and shoulders pattern coming from the weekly chart. This head and shoulders pattern is coming from the daily chart. Let's take a look at that. It's, by the way, one of the one of the funniest looking head and shoulders pattern. We talked about that. We talked about how bizarre looking that pattern is. However, it's working its magic, right? It's basically the essence of that, reversal pattern is all about 2 things. First, the fact that you have for the first time, by the way, a lower high. This is a lower high, right? Up until the previous high, up until the top, right? We had consistently higher highs. This time, for the first time, we had a lower high. This is the essence of a head and shoulders pattern in the first place. So we still have that, right? Even though the head and shoulders is completely off, right? It's twisted completely. I mean, the right shoulder is basically coming below to the neckline. It's coming from that the neckline coming from below. That's completely twisted here. However, the implications are the same. So we have a lower high for the first time, plus we have that neckline. The neckline is the star of the pattern, because it should. I mean, if you got it right, then in most cases you'll see price paying a lot of respect to that neckline. And if it, from which direction it's coming from, and if the neckline pushes back, then you can actually get this indication into where price might be heading. So when price tried to break through that neckline, creating that right shoulder, obviously it failed twice. That was a very strong sign that we're on the downside, big time. So we're still on the downside. I mean, aside from the fact that we had the sideways movement over the last few days, very tight one, by the way, but we're still on a downside move, right? So, and we know that the next target, the next Fibonacci projection, 161.8% is at 140. So that's the imminent potential. Later on, like I said at the beginning, if we want to talk about the big cycle here, if we want to talk about the big picture, then the potential is actually much deeper at 19, guys. 19, that's the potential. That's the real potential. If this is a genuine, real Elliott wave cycle, and we've been reading what the waves here, we've been reading them correctly, then that's definitely the potential. All right, so there you go, guys. Ethereum. I mean, that's not the best description of this price analysis. Obviously, we're taking a bearish standpoint, but we have to report the things as they are, of course. Anyway, we'll be back. We'll be back to follow up on the Ethereum and the rest of the market. That's about that for today, guys. Have a nice trading day. Till next time, be well.